Hello and welcome to Fact of the Matter 2012. I'm your host, Dan Bixler. Tonight we take a closer look at the economy. In Get Real, we ask students how informed they are about the unemployment issues of today, and then on Common Ground, I break down both parties' economic policies and explain them in simpler terms in order to better prepare you for your decision in this year's election. On Get Down, we fact-check presidential campaign ads from each party. So for now, sit back and enjoy our first segment tonight, Get Real, with Audra Briggs.
Hi, I'm Audra Briggs. This week on Get Real, I went around campus to ask students if they were worried about job availability after graduation and what they are doing to improve their chances of finding a job. Hi, I'm Audra, and what's your name?
John Roney.
John Roney. And John Roney, what's your year and what major are you in?
I am a senior and my major is history.
That's awesome. Are you worried at all about job availability after you graduate?
Personally, I'm not that worried. I am looking to go into a government position, and I'm lucky enough to have family members with those positions that can help me.
So you're networking?
I am.
That's great. And are you worried about anyone else, any of your friends, after they graduate? Do they express concerns to you about job availability?
Not much of them. Much of them are just jumping into the pool, sending out the resumes as best they can, trying to hope for something good.
Since you're a senior, do you have any tips for underclassmen to get out there and get in their field before they start applying for jobs?
I'd say so. It's easiest to jump in quickly. If you're undecided, best thing to do is really shop around to find something you're interested in. I was lucky enough to love history before I came here, so I jumped in the pool right away. And once you jump in, just keep working at it and network, really.
Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Hi, and what's your name?
Sarah Queeson.
Sarah Queeslin? Queeson. And what's your year and your major?
I'm a freshman and I'm an anthropology major.
Anthropology, that's really fun. Now, do you know anyone, Sarah, that's laid off or currently unemployed?
I do.
Do you? And how does that make you feel for when you're ready to get a job? Does that make you nervous or upset?
It does. It makes me concerned about the job environments, and it makes me a little bit more aware of how I'm approaching the job market.
Mm-hmm. So are you worried about job availability when you do graduate?
I am.
And how are you personally going to try to fix that problem?
I'm diversifying my knowledge base so that I have more than one option.
Okay.
And I'm taking language courses, so I'll be bilingual.
Oh, that's awesome. What courses are you taking?
French.
Language? French. All right. Well, I hope you have a really good time finding a job once you graduate, and I hope you enjoy being here at Bloom.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you for being on the show.
Okay.
Hi, and what's your name?
Greer Westman.
Greer Westman?
Yes.
All right, Greer, and what year are you, and what's your major?
A freshman in elementary education.
Elementary education. Are you excited
Yes.
for that?
Yes.
Now, being an elementary ed, obviously you want to be a teacher. Are you worried about job availability after you graduate?
Yeah.
Are you, and why are you worried?
Just because of the economic reasons.
Economic
Yeah.
reasons. And do you have a plan for a way that you're going to stick out after you graduate to get a job?
Probably minoring in Spanish or ESL or sign language.
Okay, so you want to make your resume bigger. You want to stand out.
Yes.
Awesome. And do you know anyone that's currently unemployed or laid off right now?
Personally, no.
No, that's all right. Well, thank you so much for being on the show.
Yep, thanks.
Hi, and what's your name?
Hi, I'm Tara Egri.
Tara Egri, and can you tell me what your major is and what year you are?
I'm a freshman nursing student.
A freshman nursing. That's awesome. And are you worried about job availability after you graduate?
Not really, because there are always sick people, and you're always going to need a nurse.
Okay, and I know you're not worried about job availability, but are you still planning something for your future years here at Bloom to make yourself stand out a little when you finally apply for that job?
Yeah, I'm planning on doing a lot of volunteering and then looking as to what kind of a minor hospitals want their nurses to have.
Okay, well, thank you so much for being on the show.
You're welcome.
Hi, and what's your name?
I'm Laurel Fidrick.
Laurel, and what year are you?
I'm a freshman.
And what's your major?
The 3-2 Plus program.
And what exactly is that program? Could you explain it for me?
It's a program that you go 3 years here at Bloom University, and you get a degree in either physics or math or even chemistry.
Okay.
And then you go to Penn State for 2 years and get a degree in engineering.
That sounds intense. Sounds like a
little
lot
bit.
of work. Do you like it though?
Yeah, I like it so far.
Are you worried about after you graduate about getting a job?
Not at all.
And why aren't you worried?
Because there's not that many engineers. There's some, but also like I'm a female gonna be engineer, and they want diversity, so it helps.
So that's going to get you a little in.
Yeah.
And what would you encourage your friends, what would you tell your friends who are worried about job availability after they graduate? What advice would you give to them?
I tell them to like try to get a job now. Like don't be lazy and like groups and stuff. Just try to do something that will help on their resume and things like that.
And did you watch the debate last night?
No, I didn't.
Do you know what Romney or Obama is planning for unemployment rate right now?
Not really.
That's all right. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. Hi, and what's your name?
My name is Noah Long.
Noah Long. What's your major and what year are you?
I am in the 3+2 engineering program, and I am a sophomore.
Okay, so you're in the same major as Laurel?
Yes, I am.
Are you worried about job availability at all?
Not even a little bit.
And why not?
Well, it's simple. I'm getting a degree in physics and engineering. It's going to set me apart from all others that are getting just an engineering degree.
Okay, and what advice would you give to your friends who aren't going into physics and engineering?
Just try and do what you love, and don't be afraid to move to go towards the work.
And are you aware of Obama or Romney's views on the current unemployment rate right now?
Not even a little bit, sorry.
That's okay. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Hi, what is your name?
Brittany Toth.
Brittany Toth. Brittany, what is your year and what major are you in?
I am a freshman and my major is psychology.
Psychology? Are you excited for that? Because you're just a freshman.
Yes, I am.
Are you worried about job availability after you graduate being in the psych major?
Yes, because you have to go so much further with your major. You have to at least get your PhD.
Do you think that'll help you eventually get a better job then?
Yeah, well.
And why do you think that?
Because then you have so many more opportunities than if you just major in psychology.
Okay. Are you planning to do anything else other than going for your PhD to make yourself stick out in the job market once you get there?
I really don't know right now. I'm just going with the flow at the
Yeah, you're a
moment.
freshman. I understand.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about Romney or Obama's plans for job rates and unemployment right now?
No, I don't follow anything like that.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show, Brittany.
Okay, thank you.
As you can see, some students are not aware of the economic policies that are in place by our administration or the plans to change them by the opposing side. Now I'll kick it over to Dan Bixler on Common Ground so he can explain to us the economic policies of both parties.
Welcome to Common Ground. I'm your host, Dan Bixler. Tonight I will be breaking down the economic issues of this election. There will be no opinion or bias, only what both parties are bringing to the table in the 2012 election. I will be breaking it down into taxes, education, energy, infrastructure, job creation, and healthcare. Let's get started on taxes. We'll start with the Democratic and current policy. The Obama administration and Democratic Party favor a progressive tax system. According to BarackObama.com, President Obama cut taxes for every American worker and provided 18 tax cuts for small businesses to help them weather the recession. Now he's calling on millionaires and billionaires to pay a little bit more so that we can pay down our debt in a balanced way. The president has put forward a specific, balanced plan of spending cuts and revenue, increases that reduces the deficit by more than $4 trillion over the next decade, including $1 trillion in spending cuts he signed into law last summer as part of a deal with congressional Republicans. His plan includes $2.50 in spending cuts for every dollar in revenue increases, while bringing annual domestic spending as a share of the economy to the lowest level in 50 years. Essentially, he wants to keep his tax policies that he currently has in place and tax the wealthier persons in the U.S. categorized by having an income over $250,000 a year. Many people in the Democratic Party see this as the wealthy upper class doing their fair share. With this plan, he hopes to build back the economy over a longer period of time, but with solid growth and results in more benefits overall for the economy of the future. Now let's take a look at the Republican policy. According to MittRomney.com, Mitt Romney will push for a fundamental redesign of our tax system. He recognizes the need to simplify the system, and he also recognizes the need to lower rates and to broaden the tax base so that taxation becomes an instrument for promoting economic growth. As president, Romney will hold the line on individual income tax rates and eliminate taxes on interest, dividends, and capital gains for low and middle income taxpayers. He will eliminate the estate tax, and he will pursue a conservative overhaul that applies lower and flatter rates to a broader tax base. Romney will also reform the corporate tax system. He will immediately lower the corporate income tax rate and then explore opportunities to further lower the marginal rate while broadening the tax base. He will also begin the process of transitioning to a territorial corporate tax system. A territorial system must be designed to encourage multinational companies to bring their profits back into the U.S., and it must avoid the creation of incentives for outsourcing. In other words, Mitt Romney would like to lower taxes across the board and let people take home more of their paycheck money. Let the wealthy invest in their businesses, create more jobs, let the private sector take care of itself. Let the consumers keep more of their money and buy more products. Continue this cycle, and he wants businesses to grow on our own soil and let the market economy take hold. When it comes to education, let's take a look at the Democratic platform. They want to lead the world in college graduates by 2020. Education is the surest path to the middle class. President Obama is making historic investments in education to create opportunity for all Americans. To help students better afford a college education, President Obama ended billions in subsidies wasted on banks and used the savings to double investments in Pell Grants. He established a college tax credit for students and their families worth up to $10,000 over 4 years of college. He set a goal to lead the world in college graduates by 2020 and cut the growth of college tuition and fees in half over the next 10 years, a goal that will save the typical student thousands of dollars a year, and proposed bringing together community colleges and businesses to train 2 million Americans for good jobs that actually exist now and are waiting to be filled. Obama has expressed several times throughout his presidency and the race that he cares about education and investing in the future. He believes that the young people are the future and that they need to be able to receive the tools, education, and financing they need. The Romney plan for education looks like this. Education has always been central to the American dream. Sadly, today, that American dream too often represents only a dream. In many corners of the nation, children have no access to an effective school that can give them the opportunity they deserve. Across the nation, our school system is a world leader in spending, yet lags on virtually every measure of results. Higher education is becoming at once more important and more unaffordable than ever, stretching family finances and producing new graduates who have too much debt and not enough of the skills they need to succeed in the modern economy. To restore America's promise and get Americans working again, we must achieve meaningful reform in our education system. So it seems that the Mitt Romney administration would look to end some of the funding that they have in education and do a complete reform of the education system as a whole. Energy could be a huge opportunity in jobs and becoming energy independent. The Obama plan looks like this. Invest in clean energy made here in America. By ending government subsidies for oil companies and investing in cleaner sources, we can become a global leader in clean energy, creating American jobs and businesses while improving our environment and national security. An unprecedented boom in domestic production has led to cheaper natural gas, and President Obama will take every possible action to safely develop this abundant source of American energy to support more than 600,000 jobs by the end of the decade. U.S. oil production is at a 14-year high, and President Obama has charted a course to cut net oil imports in half between 2008 and 2020, lowering imports by 5.5 million barrels per day and reducing our reliance on foreign oil to the lowest level in almost 3 decades. According to this, Obama seems to be right on track as far as utilizing energy as an economic tool and trying to become energy independent. Now we'll look at Romney's plan. Mitt Romney will pursue an energy policy that puts conservative principles into action. Significant regulatory reform, support for increased production, and a government that focuses on funding basic research instead of chasing fads and picking winners. Romney will streamline federal regulation of energy exploration and develop so that the government acts as a facilitator of those activities instead of as an obstacle to them. He will create one-stop shops and impose fixed timelines for standard permits and approvals. Create the process for companies with established safety records seeking to employ approved practices in approved areas. Under this robust and efficient regulatory framework, Romney will significantly expand the areas available for energy development, including the Gulf of Mexico, the Outer Continental Shelf, Western lands, and Alaska. He will also strengthen partnerships with Canada and Mexico to expand opportunities for American companies in the development of those nations' resources. and he will encourage continued development of unconventional reserves like shale gas and oil that hold enormous promise for expanding the base of U.S. reserves. From what is in this statement, it seems that Mitt Romney believes that he can help the U.S. limit its dependence on foreign oil by expanding areas for oil companies to explore and use for their own oil, and work with Canada and Mexico for the mutual benefit of all countries for energy. This would create more refineries, creating more jobs, and many different areas of the industry. A great way to create jobs is by investing in the infrastructure of America. Building roads, bridges, and more also brings jobs and economic opportunity. The Democratic side outlines it like this. President Obama responsibly ended the war in Iraq and will end the war in Afghanistan in 2014. Now is the time to rebuild America. The president's plan uses half the money we're no longer spending on war to put Americans back to work rebuilding roads, bridges, runways, and schools here at home, and uses the other half to help pay down the debt. While other nations are vastly outspending us on their infrastructure, American businesses are saddled with crumbling roads and bridges. The president is working to get rid of these pet projects, government bondoogles, and bridges to nowhere. And he has proposed a new independent fund that will attract private dollars and issue loans for new construction projects based on how badly they are needed and how much good they will do for the economy. The Obama campaign is looking to improve the U.S. by building here at home and using the money from the war to do it.
That allows us then to invest in science and technology and infrastructure, all of which are going to help us grow. And so if your main argument for how to grow the economy is, I knew how to make a lot of money for investors, then you're missing what this job is about.
Mitt Romney's website didn't have a topic that was clearly labeled infrastructure, but I believe that's because they are working towards putting that money towards cutting the deficit. So I featured what they plan on doing with the money instead of using it towards infrastructure. Getting our fiscal house in order has become more than just an economic issue. It's a moral imperative. Every dollar of deficit spending must be borrowed, with the bill sent to our children to pay back. As President, Mitt Romney will ask a simple question about every federal program. Is it so important, so critical, that it is worth borrowing money from China to pay for it? Excessive government spending is also harming the economy by skewing the marketplace and creating high levels of uncertainty. As federal funds slosh through the economy, they lift up some enterprises at the expense of others. In an environment where the government is picking winners and investing huge sums in projects of questionable value, private entrepreneurs across the economy cannot have confidence that their own investments will pay off. Aware that such spending cannot continue indefinitely, business owners also have a difficult time predicting how demand will shift from year to year and how to invest accordingly. The only recipe for fiscal health and a thriving private economy is a government that spends within its means. Basically, Romney is saying that the spending of the current administration is out of control and that we need to do something to limit the spending, not create more of it. One thing that everyone knows we need to have a good economy is to have a low unemployment rate. Now I will look at what each party thinks we need to do to create jobs and lower this rate. First, the Obama administration believes this. President Obama is investing in education, research, and technology to grow the economy for the long term. Manufacturing is an essential building block of our economy because it sparks innovation, generates higher wage jobs, and strengthens entire communities. After declining for over a decade, the manufacturing sector has rebounded, led by President Obama's rescue of the auto industry, and created 500,000 manufacturing jobs over the past 30 months. To build on this recovery, President Obama set a goal to create 1 million new manufacturing jobs by the end of 2016, and is working to double American exports over the next 5 years by promoting U.S. goods and removing trade barriers, expanding access to credit, and promoting strong growth. So Obama is already working on job creation, as seen in the stimulus package that he passed while he was in office. And now let's see what Romney has to say about it. Romney sees the American populace like this. The dynamism of the American workforce is our country's greatest renewable natural resource. Jump-starting economic growth therefore requires that American workers have the skills that are needed to unleash their potential. One of the troubling features of the American economy today is the mismatch between the skill set of the American workforce and the requirements of the employment gap. Over 2 centuries, American workers have repeatedly proven themselves to be the most productive and the most capable at adapting themselves to changing economic conditions and embracing new technologies that come on stream. During that time, the American economy has also been the beneficiary of the extraordinary contributions made by the best and the brightest from around the world who have chosen to make our country their new home. This combination has propelled the American economy to heights envied across the world. It can do so again. He believes that we cannot continue spending in areas that we are right now. He thinks the private sector should be allowed to do its job and regulate the economy. Let the private sector keep their money to hire employees.
Too many Americans today are struggling, living paycheck to paycheck. More Americans live in poverty than when President Obama took office. We should measure our compassion by how many of our fellow Americans are able to get good paying jobs, not by how many are on welfare. My economic plan will get America back to work and strengthen the middle class. I'm Mitt Romney. I approve this message because we can't afford another 4 years like the last 4 years.
One of the biggest issues and policies passed by the Obama administration is health care. Here's the Democratic view. Millions of Americans are already benefiting from Obamacare. From insurance rebates to expanded coverage, see how the president's health reform benefits you. The health care law that President Obama passed makes the health insurance system work better for everyone. It stops insurance companies from arbitrarily capping and canceling our coverage and provides access to recommended preventative care without copays or deductibles. It strengthens Medicare for our seniors, and it helps young people get the health insurance they need. The Republican side does not feel the same way at all. Quite the contrary, almost the opposite. President Obama has had 3 years in office, during which time he has attacked every serious proposal to preserve and strengthen America's entitlement programs while enacting cuts to Medicare and putting in place a bureaucratic board that one day may ration the care available through the program. Mitt Romney has laid out the approach he would take to modernizing America's entitlement programs, guaranteeing their continued vitality for future generations. Mitt Romney's proposals would not affect today's seniors or those nearing retirement, and they would not raise taxes. But he proposes that tomorrow's Medicare should give beneficiaries a generous defined contribution, or a premium support, and allow them to choose between private plans and traditional Medicare. Mitt's plan honors commitments to current seniors while giving the next generation an improved program that offers the freedom to choose what their coverage under Medicare should look like. Instead of paying providers directly for medical services, the government's role will be to help future seniors pay for an insurance option that provides coverage at least as good as today's Medicare, and to offer traditional Medicare as one of the insurance options that seniors can choose. With insurers competing against each other to provide the best value to customers, efficiency and quality will improve and costs will decline. Seniors will be allowed to keep the savings from less expensive options or choose to pay more costly plans. To the Republicans, the Obama administration has wasted money on passing this bill, and they're sentencing us to continue to lose money if the bill stays in place. Mitt Romney wants to do away with this bill entirely, but may have to start by reforming it first. Now that we've taken the time to enlighten you on the candidates' policies, you are now better informed and can make a better decision about who you believe will make the right decisions for our country, at least economically. Now we'll send it over to Tony and Pat with Get Down.
Welcome to another edition of Get Down. I'm Pat Fisher, and again, tonight I will be digging a little deeper into the most recent political ads in order to uncover the truth. Both candidates, Mitt Romney and Barack Obama, recently released ads that are targeted towards young mothers. Let's examine each one a little closer and check the facts. First, let's take a look at Romney's ad titled Dear Daughter.
Dear daughter, welcome to America. Your share of Obama's debt is over $50,000, and it grows every day. Obama's policies are making it harder on women. The poverty rate for women, the highest in 17 years. More women are unemployed under President Obama. More than 5.5 million women can't find work. That's what Obama's policies have done for women. Welcome, daughter.
I'm Mitt Romney, and I approve this message.
This ad falsely attributes the United States total debt of $16 trillion all to President Obama when it says your share of Obama's debt is $50,000. This number was figured by dividing the nation's total debt of $16 trillion by the population of 314 million. However, the day that Obama took office, the nation's debt was already at $10.6 trillion. That means the debt has increased about $5.4 trillion since Obama took office, which is a higher rate than all the previous presidents combined within the years Obama has been in office, but not all of that $5.4 trillion can be blamed on Obama. The federal government was more than 3 months into fiscal year 2009 when Obama became president. Shortly before Obama assumed office, the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office projected that the deficit for fiscal year 2009 would be $1.2 trillion. The fiscal year ended on September 30th, 2009, with a deficit at $1.4 trillion. But only some of that was Obama's doing. We conducted an exhaustive study of the spending bills Obama signed for that year and concluded that Obama can be fairly assigned responsibility for a maximum of $203 billion in additional spending for fiscal 2009. Others put the amount lower. The current fiscal year will end in less than 2 weeks with more than a $1.1 trillion deficit, the fourth consecutive year of trillion-plus deficits. It is apparent that President Obama and Congress haven't taken many steps to avert from deficit spending, but the figure of $50,000 per American used in Romney's ad is an immense overshoot of the truth concerning Obama's debt. Now, let's take a look at Obama's ad that released the same day titled "Pay the Bills."
I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.
I do the laundry, I pay the bills, I make sure my kids are fed and rested and healthy.
Moms like Christy would be stretched even more under Mitt Romney. To fund his tax cuts for millionaires, Romney could take away middle-class deductions for childcare, home mortgages, and college tuition.
Mitt Romney, he's so focused on big business and tax cuts for the wealthy. It seems like his answers to middle-class America are just tough luck.
Romney's proposed plan to cut taxes does not state which tax deductions or credits will be reduced or eliminated, or how they will be phased out at which income level. It is the Obama campaign's interpretation of Romney's plan when the narrator says, to fund his tax cuts for millionaires, Romney could take away middle-class deductions for childcare, home mortgages, and college tuition. Romney said on Meet the Press on September 9th, "Everything I want to do with regards to taxation follows simple principles, which is bring our rates down to encourage growth, keep revenue up by limiting deductions and exemptions, and make sure we don't put any bigger burden on the middle-income people." In theory, this plan sounds fair, but the Nonpartisan Tax Policy Center believes Romney's plan won't work because there isn't enough revenue that can be gained by eliminating tax breaks for the wealthy to pay for the tax rate cuts. This is where the Obama campaign assumes that Romney will favor the upper class, and as a result, moms like Christine would be stretched even more under Mitt Romney's tax plan. The Tax Policy Center Director, Donald Marin, said, "I don't interpret this as evidence that Governor Romney wants to increase taxes on the middle class in order to cut taxes for the rich. Rather, he believes Romney's plan can't accomplish all of his stated objectives. Therefore, it cannot be said at this time what tax deductions or credits will be reduced or eliminated and which income level will be affected most by Romney's plan." So what have we learned tonight? Your share of Obama's debt is not $50,000, and until we know more specifics of Romney's plan, the statement, "Moms like Christine would be stretched even more under Romney," is nothing more than an assumption. Now you know the facts about Mitt Romney and Barack Obama's recent ad. That's all for Get Down tonight, so now back to Dan Bixler.
Thanks, guys, for that neat segment. From all of us here at the BU's TV studio, I'm Dan Bixler. May the vote be yours.